also how colonialism impacted African children, still impacting African children. So children of colonized and enslaved African parents are equally slaves to their colonial system of exploitation, backwardness, and underdevelopment. They are not the leaders of tomorrow. That's why as of now, you can see our men at 65. They have more better than perhaps now how we youth. At 65, when Americans are getting their social security benefits, people are busy calling themselves youth because their development was arrested. So I feel for them. I feel for them. They are waiting for that youthful years to come. It never did. So at 65, my people are still calling themselves youth. They gave us this colonial education system, which is aimed at brainwashing our children into believing they are inferior to the children of the colonizers. That's why people will save money all the days of their lives to go to either Israel or go to Saudi Arabia to go and worship their Lord and meet with their Lord. When your God put you on the other side of the continent, what a wicked God. That have to throw me across the continent, then I have to work for the rest of my life to save money to go and see where he came from. Chiomanya.
And when you finish, you come back with a title.
You come back with a title. Another guy you go, then you come back with a title. My Chioma will never do that to me. I have a Chioma, a good God that will not think so little of me that I have to travel across the continent to go and see where he is. That's a fake God. I don't want God, that kind of God. I'm looking for the God that put me in that place where I came from. That made it possible for me to be there. That God, that particular one is the one that I care about. They make us take our children to boarding schools, far from the parents. When these children are there in their what is the English word I'm trying to use?
Yeah, formative age.
Right. You move them away and you put them under the random people that you don't know. Mind you, some of these children, especially those expensive kids, even the criminals are sending their children to religious school because they're trying to get help for their children. Before you know it, they will turn your sons to gay. Before you know it, they will turn your daughters to lesbians. They will be married and their lesbian's girlfriend will come and be visiting them. You're thinking it's a girl thing. You don't know that your bedroom has been invaded.
Yep.
That's all we get from all these places.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
If it's not enough, they will put gang cultism on top of it.
Yes.
All in the name. Imagine if our children are around us where we are training them. Before you know it, all manner of evil. If it's not the students abusing each other, is the teachers abusing them, is the senior prefect abusing them, everybody is abusing everybody there. Oh, in the name of the Lord, because they always make sure you come out in the morning to pray so that to wash away the sins, all the evilness that you guys did in the bedroom, in the dormitory at night. Yep. Morning prayers.
Yep.
Our children are struggling with inferiority complex and identity crisis. Especially this thing impacts boys in the worst manner ever.
Worse. They can't cope.
They cannot cope.
It messes them up completely.
It does.
Completely.
It does. Up like total breakdown of their humanity.
It wrecks them. It wrecks them.
Because people think it's all about, oh, I'm getting some. No, you are literally destroying that person from their core. Like, where is he here from? All we're looking at is shell. All in the name, Nanaga boarding school. Meanwhile, the people that brought you boarding school, so their children are in their homes going
with
to school.
them, living with them. And your own children are sent to boarding school so that you can work for the slave masters.
Imagine having a broken physician as a son. Or got a lot of medical school. But in the core of core, you don't have a son left.
Yeah, it's broken.
He could marry someone because that's what the society asks them to do.
Yeah.
And then he's still seeing his boyfriend from the other boyfriend's school.
Yeah. Identity crisis because he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know himself.
And he can't come out and tell anyone.
He can't tell anyone.
Because the society will eat him alive.
Yes.
So he will be in his bedroom struggling with all of this. He can't even share that information with his wife because the Christianity has made it impossible for us to be truthful about things,
Yes.
religious activities.
Yeah.
Because you would think, I was telling my sons, I said, while we are praying, I said, we don't sleep with a dog. We don't sleep. This is what I'm teaching them. We meet every Wednesday for prayer. Say we don't sleep with another man. We don't sleep with our neighbor's wife. So if anybody, my sons are very handsome. I said, if any of these in there in our window sees you, we are not sleeping with our neighbor's children. We are not sleeping with our friend's girlfriend. We are not doing all of that. Okay. We are not sleeping with our oppressors. Because once they see a handsome black boy, they are so bold. My cousin, they are so bold that one of them came and knocked on my cousin's door. One day I said, my daughter wants to date your son.
Can you imagine? Imagine the
Can you
audacity.
imagine? On a Sunday morning, they said they were still in bed.
Well,
All of a sudden, somebody were banging on their door, brought her daughter with her and said that the daughter wants to date the son.
Aro.
So we are not doing all of that. My dear, I called it out for them. I said, because I don't want any confusion.
Yeah.
I do not want any confusion. We don't do that. That's not what we do. See, if anybody touches your private parts, you let me know.
Yep.
Only mommy can touch your private parts. Nobody else. Nobody else. So this thing has already been ingrained in their head. And that's another thing. Teach your children these things.
Yes.
Give them the avenue to talk to you about these things. Let them know that it can happen. And it will come from pastor. It can come from Jesus Christ of Nazareth. It can come from whoever that is out there playing God.
Yes.
So that when it happens, they can come and
Discuss
tell you.
it. Talk about it. Those
Don't be
colonial,
shy.
yes, they don't talk about it. Those religious colonial monsters. They say don't talk about it. No, discuss with your children. If you don't discuss with your children, who will they discuss with? They have questions.
Tell
They
them it
want to
can
know
happen.
things.
Yep. From even your housemaid. That's another thing we are hearing. Housemaids are there. You think they're helping with your children. They are there teaching them to become something that they are not.
Yes.
So having people
Under
all
your
over
roof.
your house, nobody knows what's going on. The mother is in the
Under your
market, the
roof.
father is in business, under your roof, they will destroy your children. Sit down with your children and talk to them about things like this.
Everything is not about money. Stop chasing after money. You make all that money. Where are the children? They are lost. What did you make the wealth for? What did you make the money for? When you came actually for? What did you gain?
These are important conversations that must be held. As uncomfortable as it is, begin to make yourself comfortable if you don't want your children and your next generation to be destroyed. Begin to share this information with them. Don't even wait to Kahagawa as a 2-year-old, even as a baby. Begin to tell them only mommy and daddy can change your diapers. Do not let anyone go to your private part. Begin to use those words. Go here. I even told my son, I say, for some reason, whatever you guys are watching out there and seeing out there, and you get an idea to go and do something that I told you not to do, I said, it's okay to come and talk to me about it. It's okay. I said, those things can happen. There's something called addiction. It can be real. Let's talk about it. Let's put it on the table. And I promise you, if devil understand that you've had this conversation, 99%
Honestly.
so he knows he will be ousted in a second.
Yep. Yep. And if your children have problems, please, parents, don't go into panic attack and throw this child to the wolf. Even if the child got pregnant, please sit down and deal with it like our ancestors did. Problems are meant to be solved by adults. That's why you're an adult. Stop running up and down. Prum, 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 prum. That's the colonial masters' way. That's what the colonial monsters want. The colonial terrorists. They want to bastardize our families and communities so that we will lose our identity. It did not start now. Congo, 1885, with Kill Leopard or whatever. My sister is going to break it down for us more.
No, my sister, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm so annoyed right now.
This just like what we're saying. So in that time, colonialism, which is still going on now, But we're telling you the audacity, how these things, these systems that people put in place that we did not recognize what was going on, began to impact our children. What they call Congo metis. This is a French word. Children of sin. Because in the colonial master's book, a white man could not marry a black woman. So if a white man got a black woman pregnant, that child that came out is a child of sin. And the child would be abducted, forcefully abducted from the mother and taken to Catholic mission. Kilometers, hundreds of kilometers away from home. That's where she will be raised because she's a child of sin. That's what the colonial master said. So these mixed race children who were victims of systematic segregation of colonial Congo were also abducted from their mothers, far away from family, motherly love, sibling love, raised in some institution, some religious institution. Children numbering in thousands. They deprive them of their identity and their history. And you see this type of pain, this type of scars, they don't go out easily. The children lived miserable lives. Look at the picture there. We are talking about the impact of colonialism on our children. It did not start today. It's crime against humanity, leaving indelible marks, scars on our children. Look at this. Apart from the countless abuses that we are talking about, that the Belgian state, we are using this as an example, it happened all over Africa, still happening during the colonial system. That's 1908 to 1960. That's the colonial system. But before then, the so-called King Leopold II, since 1885, was in Congo till 1808. What was he doing? Look at it. Killing 20 million Congolese. 20 million. Because you want to take resources in the land. You see the picture. You see the next slide. You see how they're holding the hand. That thing, they cut it. These people produced a machine that cuts off human being, clip the hand of children. You see that picture there? That's a father staring at the hand, at the foot of his 5-year-old child that they cut as punishment for him, the father, failing to make the daily rubber quota for Belgian Congo, 1904. So they will give you must make this quantity. If they
These are the family members of your white Jesus committing these crimes. So.
Exactly. For those pastors that are still conflicted, when we tell them that this thing, if somebody colonizes even your religion, even your God, you should come out and begin to teach against it fast. They did not only colonize us, they colonized our minds, colonized our God, colonized our Messiah, colonized the gospel that came to liberate humanity. They colonized it as well. See children with half hand. What do you think happened to them? Human being cut them, cut off. We're showing you these pictures. Go and Google it and you see it. Then they had the audacity to now make what you call Belgium's black hand fetish chocolates. Chocolates. You see, you're seeing. We brought it for you. You can see them in stores, so you don't think it's something that they molded and kept inside a kitchen. No. In stores, in malls, they were being sold and are still being sold. How they cut the hands of children as they were stealing resources in Congo. They made chocolates to remind themselves and remind their children. Just like in those days, in our Obi, when we build Obi, if anybody in our ancestral line killed a lion, a leopard, we'll bring the skin and live in an obi in remembrance that, okay, your ancestors were warriors, they were strong men, these are the things they did. So these ones, what they're bringing to their children is like, see, we cut the hands of black children. Yes. And the children are eating the chocolate. And how do you think you want to sit down and have conversation that like those people will be in charge of the conversation? They will not be able. You will be the one to teach them because you are more human than them. You are more human. You are a human being. They are not. So you are the one that will take the responsibility to say, you know what? Stop. This is how we're going to do it. So you sitting down there thinking a white man will in his brain, the white colonialists or Arab colonialists, in their brain, think it out to treat you like a human being. That's not going to happen. They lack the ability. You will lead that conversation because you can't give what you don't have. They don't have the heart of human beings. But you do. That's why you are being the victim. That's why it's you being victim all the time. Anywhere you go, you become the victim because you have a heart of human being. So you will be leading the conversation on how to reorganize the earth, reorganize the world, and make it a better place, not this violent wilderness that we are experiencing. That is not right. So as a result of colonialism, African children lack the meaningful social life that they should live, like other children in the West. They lack infrastructure, no hospital, no pipe-borne water, no tarred roads, no electricity, hunger and starvation everywhere. Abject poverty is what our children live. Lack of stability and loving family. Before, I hear one colonial pastor was saying, oh, that he has money now, that now he has a table and his children will eat, that when he was growing up, that they didn't even have a table. And you don't need a table to dine in love. You don't need a table. The ground is enough table. We will sit on the ground. The most important thing is that we are sitting down in love, dining as a family, as a community, relating with one another, even if we don't have table. Let's stop all this quest for resources. It's the colonial mentality. My people will say, Azu Kego, your relations, your relationship, your people, that is better than money that you are running after. So it's only Africans that are told to forget what happened in the past, why the suffering continues. Meanwhile, one needs to unpack the past for the present to make sense. We need to understand why there's so much problem. Why do we have child labor, child human trafficking in Africa? Why? You should be asking these questions. Why is it that our girl children are being sexually abused, even others killed? We hear of crypto pregnancy. There's nothing we have not heard. Teen pregnancy, abandoned children, and these girls lack family support. They are not married. The father that will have the child is not supporting them, is not present. The children, girls will drop out of school, lose their job, poverty. These are the problems, the outcome of colonialism. The problem of child and early marriages. Girls' circumcision. How many are you going to count? You see what we heard also. 2-year-old child sexually abused by her female teacher. You are running away from male teacher. You ran into a woman teacher. You say, this poor child say, if you watch the video, you say, she put scissors. Because that's the feeling how painful it was. The only thing her mind could think of is that this must be knife or scissors. That's what the children will always say, because they're unable to understand, to comprehend what is happening to them. That's how painful they are trying to relate it.
You start at the age of 2 to traumatize a human being.
Imagine. This happened in most states. Parents need to be vigilant, watchful, and proactive. But if we had a system where we are in charge, all these things will not be happening. We're talking about how colonialism is impacting our African children. Slavery, colonialism, and neocolonialism, they go hand in hand with Western industrialization and capitalism. They put us enslaved, robbing the colonial, carrying with colonial project and neo-colonial project, because they have to carry on industrialization in the West. The capitalists have to steal your resources and go and develop and build industries in their land. That's why you are colonized. So they are hand in hand. They work hand in hand. When you're saying, Beke Wabara, there's no Abara that Beke is. Your land is what is going, your resources going. So African countries and governments are intentionally being destabilized so that they can produce failed states and ungoverned spaces. It's intentional. It's not by accident. What is happening to you is man-made, because these ungoverned spaces will breed terrorism and banditry. It's intentional and make your land unstable. And then when there's instability, there's poverty. And then you see military terror, crisis, war, rumors of war. All these associated with child soldier. All over the world, the colonialists and the capitalists, they sponsor war so they can have opportunity to make money. Egobala. It also goes with money laundering. Money laundering is a means of sending money away from Africa. It does not matter to them, even if our children are dying. They don't care. What they're interested in is that money. They cause war. Use that opportunity to launder money. Even from America here, they're saying they're sending money to Israel. When they're sending 20 billion, 5 billion will enter inside their pockets. It's all opportunity for them to do what they want. Then they set up tax havens where they buy expensive properties worth millions of dollars. We are telling people that these people are mentally ill. Some of them will hide physical cash in some of these buildings. Exorbitant, pricey possessions, designer vehicles, designer car, designer shoe, designer shirts, designer tie, designer jacket.
Making the same colonialists rich.
Exactly. 200 pieces. You remember when Desi and Alice in Madekwe, they showed her diamond brass.
Diamond brass. Diamond brass.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
When I tell you the price of one,
diamond brand.
Maybe she has diamond breast. That's why she needed diamond breast.
Okay. They
are working together. When you hear privatization of government-owned assets, is opportunities to sell off stolen properties. But these properties, where are they coming from? They are coming from indigenous people, the land and property and assets that belong to indigenous people. That's why they put the colonial structure, 1999 colonial structure, 1999 colonial constitution, so that when they put that on your land, they can use that name to steal every resources and do whatever they want to do with it. Sell to their friends and send out to their foreign colonialists. You hear IMF, you will force them to sell. You must sell this one. You have to sell it this price. You have to do this. Why? So that you create poverty in Africa. Our children will remain poor. The Western corporations and their tax havens. What they are doing is just shift money from Africa or your countries where they should be taxed to somewhere where they cannot be taxed. That's what they call tax haven. When you hear it, that's Obobo Yibo. That's big Yibo when you hear tax haven. What it means that they are taking your wealth that they stole free of charge. As they're working, they don't want you to get tax from it. So they carry the profit they're making to another heaven. Nuko, where they will keep it so that it's not taxed. How greedy can people be? They artificially manipulate figures. That's you hear what I spoke in tongues to some people. Sorry. We said, take this, kalu business. Take this, give this. They will do it until you are confused. Your leaders are confused. Your so-called leaders are looking like do I. They start giving animal farm statistics like our brother Tony will say. He said, oh, okay, now we are cutting down consumption of fuel. That means we are saving money from fuel. No, you are closing down businesses. Oh, Jesus. You are closing down businesses. Your economy is going down. That's why consumption of fuel is going down. It's not because you're saving any money. Companies are leaving. Production is going down. That's jobs, people's job going down. You are increasing poverty. That's why no matter as you're throwing those stupid statistics around, poverty, the reality on ground is poverty is on the increase. Criminality is on the increase. You're stabbing your foot and saying, yes, I'm working. Certain resources from Africa, like copper, they don't even buy them in open markets. They don't buy or sell them in open markets. They sell among themselves. That's how the criminality. We thought this is an organized criminality. Africa is therefore losing wealth, and Africans are being poor. There's another video that if you play, you say somebody concerned, you say, we have resources, we have wealth, but our people are poor. Yes, because somebody is piffering. Ori, Madinezuri. And this colonial master will give you different name. In our language, local language, we say Ori. If we say somebody is stealing, everybody will understand it. But they say, no, it's money laundering.
So they are washing the money.
They are washing the money. What does that mean? Okay. Is baptismal name for Ori, Ole, stealing. Are we talking about pollution from the gas flaring, like in Southeast Nigeria, or from the mining that are doing? Solid minerals, natural resources, copper in Zambia, oil spills in Niger Delta, damaged environment, water contamination, respiratory diseases, acid rain from sulfur emitted into the air, impurities emitted into the atmosphere, leading to coughing, cancer, and other respiratory diseases in babies, children, adults. Everyone is sick. Africans and African children are dying for the industrialization of Europe and the West and the Arab countries, of course. Those places that you're going for vacation, your people are dying so that they will build those cities. And you are there. I'm going on vacation. Where are you going next? Are you even thinking? Unemployment keep going up. Poverty going up. Politicians are desperate to attract investors. And they promise to create jobs. But they're lying to themselves because it's not possible. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul, going in circles. All this will never work because you have insecurity. You have not created enabling environments, and you cannot do it under the colonial structure. 1999 Unitary Constitution is a colonial system, is a colonial structure. You will never move forward with it. You're going in circles. Robbing Peter to pay Paul. You will not get the expected outcome. And they begin to tax the unemployed people that you have not created job for them. You are taxing them again because you want to mop up all the money in their hands to dip them down more into poverty, while you are making the rich to be richer. Get the system. That's the colonial system that you're running.